I went to the Soviet Union in 1984, and it was totally broken, and nothing really functioned at all. I mean, it was a mess. And I have that very clear memory. And I know that in 1986, after Chernobyl, Gorbachev started this program of perestroika, or glasnost, really, an introduction in a very minor way of market reforms. And around the same time, China began to open itself up to the market. And really, in a matter of just a handful of years later, obviously, the Soviet Union dissolved, and China is, we know what that is. And so the counterweight to the American system, the market, fell away. And I think this has had, in some ways, a rather disastrous impact on our souls. Now, I'm not advocating for socialist dictatorships. I'm only saying that the market being unquestioned and the market being the only thing that matters has been devastating. And I think the evidence is actually out there. You know, if you talk to young people today, they cannot really articulate it this way. So maybe I'm putting words in everybody's mouth. But my own view of the world today, because of where we are, is that when you cannot monetize integrity, the idea of being a good person, that doesn't actually make you money. What happens? You do get someone like the current American president who is a symptom of what I'm talking about. Totally transactional. You know, how can I make the most money? Well, what's wrong with that? So this ethos becomes everything. And what does that do to our souls? If you tell young people it doesn't matter whether you're a good person or not, the only thing that matters is to make a lot of money, where does that leave them? It leaves them adrift. How come I'm not being rewarded by being good? So the reason I set the movie in this time period is exactly for that. It was the beginning of the moment in which the market became God.
Work together to create this brotherhood relationship looks authentic on screen.
Yeah, she wrote a note. This is from her, okay? So whatever encomia, or for me, or for Miles or Adam, I'm not editorializing. All right. Working with James and this extraordinary cast was one of the great pleasures of my career. I feel so fortunate to have been part of a story so deeply rooted in what matters most: human connection, identity, and the way our values evolve across generations. I'm sorry I can't be there with you today. James, I know you're reading this right now, and this part will make you genuinely queasy. My apologies, but I want you to know how much it means to me to have been part of something that you created with such care and intention that came from the depths of your artistic soul. The consideration and sensitivity toward the human condition in this film is so evident on screen, every frame of it, and I am so extraordinarily proud to be part of it. To everyone watching and writing about this film, thank you for sitting with our story.
I can speak for myself and you know, the actors on this film. I know that we you know, really enjoyed that experience. There's an earnesty and a sensitivity and a thoughtfulness to the work, and that's comes directly from, you know, James. And I think it's pretty consistent. There's just something, you know, in this film and a lot of James' films, all my scenes are with my brother, my wife, or my kids, and that's rare. And I think that allowed me to attach something so personal and deep from my own life and be able to share it. But it felt very much like a family.
The impulse, because we were fighting time and a small budget, would be that we have limited takes and we're not going to provide space for improvisation. But I think because it's so clear in the script and because it's good writing, there's many ways to play the scenes. And of course, there's going to be a cinema aspect to it, but he kept that pretty separate. He's very respectful of actors' process, even if it's different within the same film. And that's the priority over any shot. And his shots, obviously based on what's happening in the scene, they're character driven. So he provides you a lot of room and freedom to try something, and because again it's rich writing, there's many options. If it's bad writing, it's only one way you can do it, you know. But he sets a great atmosphere that anybody feels free to try something.